Knitting has been a staple in the crafting career for years, from the 5th century to be exact. Knitting isn't just for your grandma and that one cool aunt. Knitting is for everyone. It's super calming and it's a great thing to do while watching your favorite television show. Today I'm going to show you how to knit, but first we have to go over the needles and the types of yarn you can buy. Yarn comes in many different colors. We have a pink one, we have a black and shiny one, and they even come in multicolored. Yarn is very specific. You have to go to the store if you want to buy yarn. I would suggest that because buying it online, you can't tell what it feels like, and that's really the most important part. My favorite kind of yarn is this. This is a scarf that I've already made, and it's a very fuzzy white and blue and gray yarn. It's very soft and it's great on the skin if you have sensitive skin. You can also buy the regular yarn, but I don't really recommend these unless you like the way it feels. I like a nice soft scarf. But then we go to knitting needles. Knitting needles come in many sizes. The thicker the knitting needle, the bigger the stitches will be. For most of my scarves, I use a pretty thin knitting needle, but this one is a thicker one, and as you can see, there's holes in there that are bigger than the small one that has a very small one, and it's done with a very, very small needle. To start a knit, you have to grab a full ball of yarn. Usually, typically a ball of yarn will do one scarf, depending on how long you want it to be. To start your scarf, you will have to take a knitting needle and the end of your yarn. You will then want to make a slip knot, which is pretty simple. You want to make a loop and then grab the end connected to the yarn through the loop that you made. This will then make a smaller loop, which you can then put around your knitting needle. Once you have your two ends, you have your end hanging off, which should be pretty long, and then you have your end connected to the ball of yarn. You will then point your finger and your thumb and put it in between the two pieces of yarn, spread them out, and put them around your hand like so. And use your pinky finger and your ring finger to grab both ends of the yarn. You want this tight, but not too tight, so you can weave your needle around. Then you will go under your first loop, then you go under your last loop and pull it through that first loop. That's not right. Okay, you will go under your first loop and then over and under your third loop and then pull. That will make a starting stitch for your scarf. You then want to do this however long you want your scarf to be. I'm only going to do a couple times because this is just a demonstration. Once you have all of your loops on your needle, then you will be able to take your other needle and start to make the length of the scarf. I'm going to snip the end because we're not going to use it. Then, to start the length of your scarf, you will take your empty needle and you will stick it under the loop, the first loop, and through. Then you will take the yarn connected to your yarn ball and wrap it over the empty. Sorry, I got it unlooped. You'll wrap it over the empty needle, pull out, and make sure you grab the wrap that you made and pull the loop over the needle with all the other loops. Then you will pull the yarn connected to the yarn ball straight until it's tight. Then you just do this over and over again until you get to the end of your loops. And at that point, all of the loops that were on your first needle will be transferred to your other needle. Now all of your loops are on your other needle. Then you just switch your needles in your hand and do it over and over and over and over again till you get the length of yarn that you want. This is a very repeated process, so it will take a while. Here is a scarf, or whatever you want to call it, that's not completely done. But I'm still going to tie it off to show you, because I'm going to restart it anyway. So once you have a nice length that you want, and you have it as thick as you want, you will then have to cast it off. To cast it off, you will regularly knit 2 of your loops. And then on your right needle, you will take your bottom loop, and bring it over the first loop and off the needle. Then from there, you will stitch 1 more loop like normal, and repeat the process of bringing the bottom loop over the first one and off the needle. Once you get done with this, it's very, very easy to finish. You just have to pull the end of the yarn that's connected to the ball. The ball is in here, but you'll just have to pull it out and it's finished. It's very, very simple and it's very easy to do. And making a scarf is great for family members. I know grandmothers love them. Even if they can knit, it's always great to get a present from a loved one that was made with care and really took time. I hope that you guys will now think of knitting not as a grandmother's sport, but as something that anybody can do, and a great project for sitting down, watching your favorite television, or binging an entire series in a week. Thank you.